Okay, so now I'm going to do something that I don't normally do. I'm actually going to do a tutorial on a very, very, very powerful and visual effect. It's basically called the double color change, I would say. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the trick first, demonstrate it, and then we'll go into the step-by-step tutorial. So now, what I would do is, after the cards are all cut up and mixed up, have a spectator select a card, any card that they want. Let's say that they chose that one. For argument's sake, I can see it, doesn't really matter. 6 of diamonds, but when you're performing it, you want to look at it. So you're gonna start cutting off small packets of cards and tell the spectator anytime they want, just drop down their card on top anytime, and then just throw the rest of the cards on there, and then let's give them a couple more cuts just to lose it into the deck further. Now, those are real cuts, everything's all mixed up. Now, in order to find the card, all I gotta do is give it a little tap, just like that. And what that did was magically cause one card in the center to change colors from the rest of the blue bag. So now, what are the chances that this red card right here could be the spectator's selection? So let's see. Wow, would you look at that? It actually is the spectator's selection. They managed to select the only red-backed card in an entire deck of blue backs. But watch, let's do something further and take the red-back 6 that they selected and just give it a little rub just like that, and then watch, that red-back 6 selection now becomes a blue back again. Okay, so now for the tutorial for the double color change card. Okay, so now in order to perform this illusion, I'll call it, you need a certain gimmick, and the gimmick is this right here. It is a double-backed blue and red card. Now, you could buy these at any kind of magic shop, or you can make it yourself, which is exactly what I did. This one I made myself. From far away, and when you're moving it, you really can't tell the thickness of it, which is really good. So in order to make this gimmicked double-backed card, what you would do is, from 2 different decks of cards, which would be 1 red and 1 blue, obviously. What you would do is you would take 1 joker from each right here, just like so. And what I find works best is, you could use double-sided tape, but I wouldn't recommend it. What I did with this one is I used rubber cement, and I made this probably 4 or 5 months ago, and it has never came apart. I never reapplied any more application to it, and it's pretty good. So what you would do is get some rubber cement. You could find at any arts and crafts store, just like that, and then you would put a light coat of rubber cement on the face of each joker, and then you would line them up perfectly, just like so, and just give it a little pressure, and then it will stick together, and it will look something like this. And like I said, it's not perfect. You could actually see some of the edges right there. However, when you're pretty much far away and you're handling the card, you really can't see. I've done this numerous times to people, and no one has ever caught on. So now, in order to set up the trick, it's very simple, very easy setup. You take your deck of cards right here. Now, since we're using a blue deck, we're going to want to have it change to the red, obviously, first. So you would just take that just like this and place it on the bottom, just like so, so that the red is facing you. And now you're ready to start the trick. You know, you could actually do a couple of false shuffles, but I wouldn't recommend that, because when you do the shuffling, you could actually see the red card. So what I like to do is to do some fancy false triple cuts, which if you don't know how to do, I suggest you look up a tutorial on them. It's pretty simple. I'm not going to get into it right now, but just do a couple of false cuts and you're good to go. Even this one right here, very effective. So now, when you tell the spectator to select a card, be sure not to, when you spread the cards, make them see this red card all the way on the bottom. So just hold on to that and spread out the cards like so, and just say to them, pick a card, any card. Normally anybody would randomly just go for the middle or anything like that. It's very rare you'll get somebody who will like actually pick down at the bottom, but I've had people do that because people like to try and mess you up. So now, when they pick the card like that, okay, it could be any card. For this one, it's the 9 of spades, just like so. Now, you tell them, so now you have the deck in this position just like this, and dealer's grip, and again, you have the double-backed card with the red facing up all the way at the bottom. So now you tell them, after they memorize, they say, listen, I'm going to drop down a small packet of cards. When I do, anytime you want and feel comfortable, just drop your card on top. Let's say they do it here. So now, once they place their card on the top of this pack right here, what you're going to do is take this deck where the bottom card is the red, is facing up. You're just going to place it directly on top. So now, your red card is directly on top of their selected card, which is the 9 of spades right there, right? So now, you can cut the cards as many times as you want. As long as they're a straight cut, it's not going to mess up the order of the cards. You could literally do it as many times as you want. You could even tell the spectator to cut it, but I would be careful, because you can manage to get that card right away. So, especially since it's 2 cards glued together and not a gimmick card that we bought at a magic shop. So, just be careful not to expose that card. And like I said, you can cut as many times as you want. And it's probably better off if you do it, because you could feel where that gimmick card actually is, so you don't expose it, which is right over here. But we don't want it close to the top, so let's give it one more cut in the middle, square it up just like that. Now you do a little fancy presentation, a little showmanship, and you tell them that you're just going to press down on the deck just like that. And what that caused was for one of the cards to magically turn over. So now you fan through the cards, and then once you get to the gimmick card, just out jog it just a little bit and go through the rest of the cards. So now, if you remember, the selected card is right underneath the gimmick card. So now what you do is you take the deck like this and you split it in half just like that. And then you take this top part right here and place it on top just like so. So now you have it set up for the next trick and for the next sleight, which is the gimmick card and then the spectator's card underneath. So now what you do is, right now everyone's blown away how one card just magically changed to a red backed. So now take that off the deck so that everyone could see it. And you do a little misdirection. You start talking about it, saying, what do you think the chances are that you managed to pick the one red card? And as you're doing this, and as you're like showing them this, so now let's say the spectator is here in front of me, right? What you're going to do is turn the deck slightly just like this. And when you do, push off the top card like that to get a pinky break, just like so. It's not perfect right now, but let's just try that again. So now you say, oh, one card turned red. So now as you push this forward, tilt this back so it's all in one motion and no one ever really notices. So you just go like that, and then as you're turning it, use your thumb to push off a little bit of the card so you could get your pinky or your ring finger in there to get a break, just like so. So let's do that one more time. Okay, so now you just revealed that one card switched and magically turned to red. So now you say, look at that, it just turned to red, just like that. Now you have your break just like that, so it's easy to do the double lift, because that's what you're going to have to do next. So now you have the break here, you take the red card right here, place it back on top. Now you see how you're good to go for the double lift, just like so. So what you're going to do is, now that you have your setup for the double lift, you're going to say, let's see if indeed the red card is your selection. So now you pick up the two cards as one, do the double lift, which is obviously the two cards, just like so. And then you say, you turn it completely over. And when you turn it over, let them completely fall, because now you have that gimmick card, which will turn back to blue, because the red is on that side, just like so. So let's try that one more time. Your selection is second from the bottom. Now you revealed the card turned to red. You take it up on top and say, what do you think the chances are that your card is the selected card, the red one? So, like I said, as you push it off, just push it just a little bit. No one's going to notice, because everyone's focus is going to be right here on the red card, because you're showing it to them just like so. It's misdirection. So you like, just like so. Get that break right here. Then still have it tilted so they can't see the break, right? Just like this. And then place it back on top, and now you're good to go. So now, like I said, you push the card just a little bit just to get that break, push it back, and now you are ready for the double lift. Excuse me. So now you take it and you do the double lift, and then you could just let that card completely fall. Now there's your cleanup right there. This card can be completely examined later, but put it down. Don't reveal that it's blue yet. You know, now you can actually show the deck is all blue because it's on top just like that. So now take that just like this, and then give it a little wave, and then boom. That's simple.